Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Funny Girl Abroad. Thank you for being back, and this is a little bit different episode. It's about students in Sweden, particularly international students in Sweden. So I'm gonna preface this by asking you, if you're watching this, please do me a little bit of a favor, and not just me, but also to yourselves and to your friends, and take this episode and send this to somebody that maybe is studying in Sweden or generally in Scandinavia, or someone that is considering it. I think that they will find something that interests them. I moved to Sweden years ago to study here a master's degree, and I have so many things to say about this experience. It's such a crazy experience moving to a different country to study, and it's such a lovely thing to do. It's something that is a dream for a lot of people, to be able to do that, and that puts a lot of pressure on you, makes you feel that you have to make the most of it, like enjoy it, and also do like all of the things that are associated, and at the same time it's quite difficult and stressful, and so all of this creates a situation that basically overwhelms you, and that's it. I mean, of course I do those podcasts for fun, and it's mostly entertainment, but I'll try to say some things that are a little bit actually practically useful. Usually you're better off doing the exact opposite from anything that I say, but in this particular case I may have some actually solid advice. The first thing that I would like to say, especially for people that are thinking about studying in Sweden, coming to Sweden to study, is to do it. Sometimes you need a little bit of a push. Okay, sometimes some people have everything ready, they really want to do something, they've worked themselves up to a point to make this possible, but they just lack this tiny little, just this tiny little push, and you may not have anybody to give this to you, so I'll do it. If you're from a European Union country, it's free. I mean, come to Sweden to study, it's free. That's a lovely... Now you have a tagline on your hands. Okay, I don't know, I should probably sell this to the ministry or something. I don't know if it's what the Ministry of Education had in mind about this one, but I think it's a nice one. Now, was I devastated the first few days? Absolutely. Did I change my mind immediately the first couple of days that I moved to Sweden? 100%. The first day I was like, I'm not gonna stay for the second. The second I was like, I'm not gonna stay for the first. But then I stayed for years and years. It's probably a sensible thing to do before you move to a country to study for probably for a year or two or even more. To have been there a little bit, take a trip in the summer, look around, just feel it, get a vibe, decide. And then you come with a different confidence. You can't do that, of course. Or you can do like me, decide you're in for an adventure, get on a plane and go land in a completely different culture that you've no idea about, and just figure it out on the way. And you know what? It sounds like a horrible idea, and very possible that it is. But it does help you to get away from all of the indecisiveness. So all of the indecisiveness of, should I do it, should I not do it? I don't know, I like this, but I didn't like that. I like this place, but all of those things, you just pass them over and you just land, and now you're there. So, and it's very, very rare. I've never met anybody but had such difficult time that decided to leave. The environment is relatively supportive, and you will, best case scenario, have an amazing time. Worst case scenario, have not the most amazing time, but you still will be able to achieve your goal, which was to finish whatever education it was that you started. Here's a very important tip I have. If you want to study in Sweden, you will very quickly get in trouble. Why do I speak like this? Now it sounds like I'm telling you, you're gonna land and someone's gonna come and arrest you, You're gonna get in trouble immediately. You know how Sweden is, just like sucks you into trouble. Yeah, no, you're not gonna get in trouble at all, okay? What I'm trying to say is it will be hard to find housing, especially in Stockholm. I don't know how bad it is in Uppsala, maybe it's better. I know actually people whose life and work and everything is in Stockholm, but they still live in Uppsala because it was possible to find housing there. So it will be really, really hard to find the right place for you. You might find options that are like very far away from what you want, and that can be really, really disheartening. Now, if you're coming as a student, which is the people that I'm talking to now, and even if you are here already and you live in Sweden and you're a student, but you just are not happy with your house, or you have a short-term rental or something, and you're trying to find a different option. I just want to say, turn every stone. Okay, there is stuff. Okay, it feels like there's nothing, but I don't think that's true. There is stuff. You just have to turn every single stone. Okay, because the stuff is hiding, and who knows? Well, how are people saying? The ones who know. If you know, you know. Okay, yeah, that's how you say. If you know, you know. All right. And I realized this firsthand because here's the thing. I made the choice that I was gonna find housing before I moved to Sweden. And if I wasn't able to find housing, I would not move. I was on the fence about moving, coming to do this education in Sweden. This is the truth. I was a bit on the fence. I wasn't completely sure. So in order to help myself, I decided that I needed certain things before I go. So I say, okay, I'm gonna get those things in place, and if those things fall in place, then I will go. And if they don't, then I won't. All right, I'm not gonna push it. So one of the things, for example, was that I was gonna find housing, because I saw how difficult it is to find housing, how expensive it can be, how much of trouble. And I just didn't want to do it. I said, okay, it doesn't worth it for me if I'm going to end up having to pay too much and having to spend too much time looking for houses instead of like dealing with my education or even just enjoying my time. Then what's the point? So I sat down and I looked through everything. I turned every stone that I could from online. On groups, online groups, and like different universities, and everything, just everything. I called my university up to ask them, like all those things. And turns out, I was able to find and also book housing in a university before I even came to Sweden, before I got on a plane. I had already booked housing. Now, funny thing, wasn't on my university. It was on the dorms of a different university. I didn't lie to them, of course. I didn't say that I studied there. I said that I was studying in my university, the film school and those things. But I was able to actually stay at a different university's dorm. I didn't even know this was allowed. I still don't know if that's allowed, to be honest. I was even nervous about it. Until the last second, I was nervous about it. I was like, what if they made a mistake? They blame it on me, but I was trying to like mislead them. And they accuse me of corruption because I'm Greek, and that's enough reason for them to like come after me. It's crazy. All the paranoia comes to you. I remember how stressed I was when I walked into that dorm. Even after I had signed the contract and I was there, I was like, they're gonna figure it out. I shouldn't be here, you guys. I shouldn't be here. Anytime somebody knocked on the door, I was like, the police. That's it. I was always so nervous and so stressed that I really shouldn't be there. I really shouldn't be there because I'm not the right type of student. And then I realized that nobody else was a student in my floor. I was probably the only student. I mean, I was the most like okay to be there statistically. I was at least, those were student dorms. I was at least a student somewhere. not there, not at that university, but I was a student at some place. I would actually recommend to try and find something before you move, because you can get into really messed up situations. You know, a lot of people are renting their apartments illegally in Stockholm, so they're not allowed to rent their apartment out, but they do because they don't want to live there for whatever reason. And so they try to rent it out, and then they enter a war of appearances. People have to believe but they still live there. Do you understand how crazy that is? So they have those like short-term rentals, 1 month, 2 months. It looks a bit weird, it looks a bit sketchy. I don't know, but it seems to me that this is the amount of time that it takes for the people that are around in the building to realize that someone actually lives there, right? So you see somebody there 1, 2, 5, 10, 15 times. Okay, then you're like, what are you doing? Are you living here? Are you the new neighbor? What's happening? And because it's Sweden, it takes a little longer, so you can stretch it to like 3 months. But after that, people start to understand. And I know that, like, so I remember that time I was looking for an apartment, and I went to see this apartment of this girl who was a friend or like a co-worker or something of my boyfriend. So I went to see her apartment that she was renting out, and we were looking at it, and everything seemed great. We seemed to agree with all of the stuff, the time, the money, the this, the that, everything was great. But then in the end, she was like, I don't think that I can do this. You know, the next day she was texting us and was like, unfortunately, I don't think this is possible. And I was like, what? This doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? What changed? And she was like, well, I'm just concerned that people will understand that you live here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will, you know, after they see my name on the door. No, you're not supposed to put your name on the door, you're supposed to lay low. You know, I thought I was going to rent a house, but we had a completely different ideas of what renting a house means. I thought I was gonna pay money to live in a house, and she was planning to put me into some type of witness protection program. I was supposed to go in the house, tell that I am the Greek cousin of the girl who lives there, or maybe I'm there with UNICEF, you know, she's adopted me for a couple of months. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is turn every stone and go to the bottom of every single thing, so you will find a place that you can stay, you will find housing. Another thing I want to say is about like the nature of the city, because when you move you move abroad to study, and most likely you are on the younger side, you're gonna party, and there's a high chance you will be disappointed in Stockholm. It doesn't have this strong youth vibe in terms of partying and nightlife, and I would say also generally. You know, sometimes you go to a city and you get this feeling that like the young people in this place are having the time of their life, okay? Everybody seems to be around on their way to something cool. There's just this strong vibe that you feel that the young people are running this city, like the city is for them, okay? You get this kind of feeling. Other places are more for families. You feel that it's a little bit more family oriented. Now, in Sweden, the vibe that I got was that the country is mostly devoted for and run by the kids and the old people. This is who Sweden's for, you guys. Everybody else is a supportive character. And you know what? I loved this. I didn't mind this at all. I actually loved this. This was actually one of the first things that I noticed in Sweden that made me feel like, you know what, I really like this place. I might actually want to stay here for longer. Because this was really unique. I hadn't seen this before, to be honest. And it made me feel really happy. Because this is what I believe it should be. This aligns with my values. I think that kids and old people should be taken extra care for. Those are two categories of people of the population that they know how to live. Kids know how to live because they're kids and they're like everything is new and exciting to them. Old people also know how to live because they've lived through stuff and they have the experience and the wisdom and they know what's important and what's not important. They know what worth it in life. They know that. And so those people are the people that we should be following, I think, for the most part. So I would say to embrace it. If you're already this type of person that doesn't gonna go partying and wants to have a nice dinner party and then go to the theater, then I mean, I don't know what to say. You're gonna love it here. It's made for you already. I have to go soon, so I can't continue too much. But I'm gonna give you one last note, and then I will continue another time with more ideas. So another thing, very important. Say it after me. It's nobody's business if you decide to stay later and for how long. Say it. Say it. Say it now. Okay. Now it might sound a little bit okay, like relax, but like I promise you, every second person that you meet is gonna ask you. Every second person that you meet, especially other people outside of the uni bubble that you're gonna meet, yeah, they're gonna ask you. And consider yourself lucky if they ask you only once. It's a lot, and it's very annoying, and I'm very sorry you're gonna have to put up with it, because the truth is that in many cases you don't know, you can't be completely sure, and even if you do know and you are completely sure that you wanna stay or that you wanna leave, why are you supposed to share this just because somebody's curious? Since when are you expected to share your life plans just to satisfy somebody's curiosity that you've never met before in your life? I understand people don't have any bad intentions, they're just curious, right? Curiosity isn't bad, it's completely normal, and they might even feel themselves that they're doing a really nice thing, that they're showing interest, they're taking interest in you, and they're asking you because they're taking interest in you. But they don't have the concept of that this can put pressure on you, especially if it's something that you have a hard time making a choice about, or something that you're afraid, maybe you're very set, but still you have the fear that your stiff initial plan might for some reason not work out. They don't understand the amount of pressure that they might be putting on you, so never mind them. It can be very annoying, especially if it happens all the time. At some point I was seriously sick of that, because I'm not joking, it was every second person, and then after a while it was not even every second person, it was every single person that I would meet, especially everybody that was Swedish. They would always ask me, oh, and are you gonna stay? Are you gonna stay in Sweden? Are you gonna stay in Sweden? Yeah, well, I have a little bit more of my education. Okay, but are you gonna stay afterwards? Yeah, well, I have this project that I'm working on and until the summer. Okay, but afterwards, you're gonna stay afterwards. Am I sleeping? Am I sleeping in your bed, Johanna? Please tell me, am I coming and climbing up your bed and sleeping there with you every single night? I'm trying to prepare you. They're not doing it intentionally, but it's gonna be annoying. And then I have one last tip, very, very important. You should find me and follow me around on the... Did I just ask you to find me and follow me around? Please don't do that. Okay, I don't want you to find me and follow me around. I just want you to follow me on social media if you can. And the reason for this, I just want you to see when I have my comedy show, because I'm gonna have a stand-up comedy show soon. And especially if you are an international student or an international person in Stockholm, I think you will really enjoy it. I don't just think you enjoy it, I think you need it. Okay, I think you need it. You will come in, you will laugh, you'll have a nice time, You'll feel heard, understood, and I will get the chance to meet you as well, which is lovely. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye bye!